Hello, Teresa Phelps Martin coming to you via the Soulfully You virtual offering where we will do yoga and reflect on the energies of our inner self, exploring the patterns and awakening to the ways that we can touch and go. There's a joke behind the touch and go, and it's an inside joke with me. Anybody ever have those inside jokes with just like one other person, which is yourself? So anyhow, I will be posting the energetic signature for June. So if you're watching this in real time, keep an eye out for that. I'm not doing it live, and there's a reason why it hasn't come out yet. It's because things are nutty. So if you're watching this and your life holds a little nutsos, then, or you're watching things be nutty around you, you're not alone. And I'm using the word nutty because it's one of those things that from different areas of my life, everybody keeps sharing how crazy it is. So we're going to do yoga, and the movement is going to really focus on the breath. And the touch and go is actually a term and a technique when one's flying. And this is usually in smaller aircraft, but you need to be able to do it. Any pilot needs to be able to do it. Where you're coming down to land and you have to take off again. So you literally touch down and take off. So I think if anybody's ever flown, which I think people are starting to again, at least I know people that have been flying that never stopped, but they're just doing it again. So, you love to take off and you love to land, and you take off in one place and you land somewhere else, which is like yoga and these practices of embodiment and mindfulness and awareness. However, we land deeper in the essence of who we are. So we're going to work with the breath and the nervous system today. If you look at my daily posts, I put elemental emojis there. Eventually it'll change, but right now that's the easiest for me. And you'll see a whole bunch of water drops. So we're swimming in the deep seas. And we are feeling motivated. How to say that? I'm trying to say this eloquently. Everybody is feeling a lot, which, because historically, really since the beginning of time, we have not been guided to value our inner world and our emotional experiences. I mean, think about it. How many of you were told not to cry? How many of you still feel like you're a hot mess when you do cry? There must be something wrong with you. I do. And I don't stop. I don't keep myself from crying. So traditionally, we're taught that even people who have emotional intensity are considered crazy. So with those stereotypes put upon us, if you feel a lot inwardly, you're going to feel out of control. So what the response, really the reaction is to try to control everybody else. So it's going to come when we have an issue, which our worlds and our life and this planet is full of issues right now. We have an issue that comes up and we grab hold of the issue, and then we project the issue and the lack of somebody else's ability to do it and to take care of it onto somebody else. Now, this is not a conversation of privilege. It is a conversation of humanness. And so if your privilege is to be educated and have resources, then in my opinion, you have a responsibility to tend to the inner waters of yourself. The moon is void, of course, as I record this. So it's a time to be reflective and not really to initiate and take action. Interesting. Has anybody, because you guys follow me and you're here, has anybody in their Facebook feed gotten the Astro Yoga Illustrated? Have anybody seen those things? It's interesting because the phases of the moon they have are actually misaligned. And I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying it's misaligned. It's almost as if somebody had a great idea and they just interpreted their own thing, and the illustrations are beautiful. But when any energy is new or void, of course, it's not about being in a high active practice. It is more about going inward, right? A new moon, the moon's dark. We are in the closing square energy as I record this. And later, we're going to feel some fire. And tomorrow we're going to feel fire. And people are feisty. And so it's like, wow. So we're going to move today with the breath. We're going to settle into the soil of ourselves, to attend to the narration, to reflect upon what comes to the surface, but to move so that we can move and breathe. And when we can breathe, we can recognize the complexity of it all. And so it's touch and go, right? It's touch and go. And if you can feel that touch and go energy for yourself, Anne Ortley, who I listen to every day, and somewhere that I was listening to her, she was sharing how it's a really hard chapter of life right now. But you are writing the story of your future, okay? So don't write people off, but instead maybe just be like, you know what? I'm allowed to pull back and tend to myself and weather the storm, right? There was even that story of people were trying to watch the tornado and it backfired on them. So let's weather the storm together. Touch and go. We're going to start standing because I can talk. I'm going to start standing, feeling your feet, feeling your ground. So connect to the domes of your feet. So you're just going to move your feet around. You can rock forward and back, side to side. You have arches of your feet. This is the ground we're on. So if we're going to do touch and go, we will have feet come off. Feet come off the ground today, but only for a little bit, right? So we're going to touch into this balance to land again. Okay, so find those arches of your feet, the pelvic floor, your core, lift through the sides of the body, feel the length through the spine. Inhale the arms overhead, call in the highest. You're in charge of you, but the only way you can have authority and know you have authority is if you take the time to get to know yourself. Arms are overhead, otherwise you take all the stereotypes and you think they're yours. Inhale, lift up and move over to the left. Inhale, come through the center, and exhale to the right. We're going to go 5. 5 is our number today. Inhale through the center. Waistline is back, over to the left. Inhale through the center and exhale over to the right. So what we want to do is practices like yoga get us out of our head and into our bodies. Stay with the breath. You'll see what I'm doing. We're just like gearing up, right? If you've ever flown, believe it or not, there's a pre-flight. Inhale, come back through the center, bend the knees. So your thighs go back, your belly draws in, your shoulders go back. And then push it to the ground. Inhale, lift the heart, big full breath in. My hands are behind my head, maybe yours are overhead. 5 breaths here, just feeling that volume, that build up, that connection to you, and connect to your own intention. What do you want to touch into? So that you can go further forward with your truth. And then inhale from behind the heart. Inhale, rise up. Arms sweep high, and then exhale the hands to heart center. When we have this energy of air, we can connect to our inner horizon. How are we going to navigate? First, by connecting. Stand in the truth of who you are right here in this moment. And that truth may be a truth of uncertainty. It may be the place of accepting the secrets that you haven't ever wanted to tell before. Maybe it's that you're full of love, that you're full of trauma, that you're full of grace, whatever it may be. And in your beingness, big breath in. Exhale, bend the knees all the way down to the earth. Touch the ground. Relax the neck and jaw. Feel into all things. So when we have a lot of water and air, it sits right here, okay? Hands to your shins. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bow. Feeling the breath. Inhale, find length. And exhale, bow. Because as soon as you stand in your truth, and you reflect back, you can hear the message of how you need to proceed. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, find length. Hands can be on the ground or a block. I have a bolster, so I'm just using the bolster. You're going to inhale, pick the left foot up, stretch the left leg out, circle the ankle, and then exhale, bend the knee, foot to the ground, bow forward. Okay? Inhale, find length. I like to bend my knees, draw into the belly, right leg lifts up, stretches out, circle the ankle, exhale, bend the knee, both feet to the ground, bow, right? So touch and go. Inhale, find length. Exhale, pull into the core, foot lifts. Inhale, expand. Now I'm starting to stretch the spine too. Exhale, foot to the earth, bow. Inhale, find length. Exhale, connect into you. Inhale, expand. And exhale, foot to the ground, bow. Inhale, find length. We're going to do 5, so just feeling your rhythm. We're waking our hamstrings up, we're initiating the core, and we're getting connected to the breath. The repetition of the pattern is because that's the energy that we're in right now. We're in a need to have a sense of humor. And in that sense of humor, realize that we're going to have to do things multiple times. All right, I think that was 5. Both feet to the ground, exhale, fold. Inhale, find length, heel toe the feet apart. Exhale into a squat, hands to your heart. Feel the length, stand tall through the spine. Now we're going to the earth. Come seated, come lying all the way down. Touch and go. You're on the ground, knees into the chest. Rock from side to side. You're going to make little circles with your knees. 3 circles in one direction, and then 3 circles in the other. Excuse me. Come back to the center. Left foot to the ground, right leg goes up. I'm not holding onto my leg, okay? You're going to inhale, point the foot, exhale, flex. So it's just to synchronize the breath. Put our feet up in the air. Our feet are rudders if we were to fly. They help direct, so we want to connect all the way to them. Also, flexing and pointing the foot pumps the calf, which helps with the circulation of oxygen in the body. So we want to work with the breath. We want to work with the nervous system. And then exhale. Bend the right knee. Bring the right ankle to the left thigh. Inhale your left foot up. Draw the belly in, shoulders are to the back. We don't want to pull super hard. Don't push the knee out. We're not trying to control, but rather embody and work with what's available to us. I have the need to take my arms wide. Maybe you want to hold on to your left foot. Big breath in. And then exhale, the left foot down. Right leg lifts. You're going to bring the knee to your armpit. Hold on to the foot. Have space right here between your right thigh and your right waistline. Shoulders to the back. I'm actually giving myself space. Now, you can open your left knee up some. You can also stretch your right leg out. It's up to you. It's pretty intense in the beginning because we haven't gotten a whole bunch of blood to flow. So just realize that. Come back through the center. Bend the knee. Both feet to the ground. Find the feet. Ground down. Knees to your chest. Rock from side to side. And then we'll do the same thing. Go 5 circles counterclockwise. We're just clearing out the emotional volatility, right? Because that's really what's going on right now. So much emotional volatility. And then go 5 times clockwise. So you got to redo it, right? We're going to repeat so we can relearn and really integrate. So each time we touch down, we know how to take off. Come back to the center, right foot to the ground, left leg, so your heels over your hip, flex and point. So in the past 2 years, I've been tracking the void of course moon regularly. And the reason I've come to really love it, because it's as if the cosmos say, pause, 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 regroup. Because the stereotype, we're told to be productive. We're told that we have to work 5 days and rest 2. The next step is you're just pointing and flexing with your breath. Right? And the moon says, well, actually, if you really want to embody the energy I reflect back to you, then pause regularly. And sometimes those pauses are just 20 minutes. Okay? And sometimes those pauses are most of the day. So finding a new way to engage. So bring your ankle if you didn't. Left ankle to right thigh comes up. Move the arms. You're not forcing things, but you are breathing, and you're breathing deeply. Look at this little moment as a void of course moment, a time to assess and acknowledge. But remember, we're not assessing with a diagnosis. We're just like, ooh, isn't that interesting? And taking interest in the ways we can nourish ourselves. And the right foot comes down. Left leg lifts. Bend the knees, so half happy baby. I like to open, keep your right foot on the floor, but just let the knee open slightly. Keep the pelvis level and then extend the leg. Breathing all the way in and all the way out. You're going to bend the knee, draw back in. Both knees into your chest. One little hug here. Okay, there's not a lot of fire in the sky until later today, so we're going to add a little fire. Bring your knees over your hips. Your heels can be heavy or the shins parallel. Pay attention to what you're waking up in your low belly. So it's a reclined chair pose. Hands to thighs, thighs to hands. Draw into the core. Because maybe you're watching this later than the replay. Later than the live. You're watching a replay. And you want to be able to tap into the energy of the day that you're in. So I'm being inspired by the transits of the moon to help guide you so you can actually go inward and connect into that inner world, because that's what the moon does for us. so your hands are pushing to your thighs, thighs are to your hands. And we're going to be here for 5 breaths, and I'm going to stop talking. And then release the feet. Arms up from your shoulders like a T. Exhale your knees over to the right. Use your core. Inhale through the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale through the center. Go to each side for a total of 5. Be with your breath. We woke the core up because it'll help to insulate the nervous system. And if you don't know me, then you don't realize that the core is like one of the most important things because it gives energy to the heart. The moon connects us to the heart. The sun connects us to the head. We need both. I think I did more than 5. It's all good. You're going to come through the center. Feet under your knees. Arms by your sides, okay? Bend the elbows if you need them. Otherwise, draw the shoulders into the back body. Inhale your hips up, and then exhale down. Okay, so we're just touch and go. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips go down. You're moving in a nice, smooth rhythm. Yes, 5. Really working the core. Shoulders are to the back body. Throat is open. So the arches of the feet, the pelvic floor, the diaphragm, the upper palate, they're all being integrated now. I think this is 5. And then come to the earth. Once you come to the earth, this is just a little moment of void energy. Okay, we're going to roll over to the left side. Okay, so my back side is to you. I'm going to bend my left knee because it works better for me than to have it straight. You're going to straighten your right leg, stack the hips, draw into the core. I'm not picking my head up today. I'm staying down like this, okay? You really want to get the rib cage up off the ground. We're going to bend the knee, foot to the upper inner thigh. So it's tree pose. Maybe. I'm better off here. Tree pose is not working for me today, so I'm just going to be here. And if you want to, come here. Hold on to the foot, shoulder to the back, extending the foot out. So you could be in tree pose, no problem there. Or here. Breathe into it. Notice how it feels. What's going on in the inner world? How are you engaged with this connection to yourself? And then exhale, free the foot. You're going to roll over onto your back and all the way to the other side. So it's just this little pause, right? This moment to realign. Right? It's not a 3-day pause, although that sounds good. You're gonna lift, right? So you can come into tree pose. Not working for me today. So be in the relationship that serves you. This one supports me. So if you go to the full extension, great. If you don't, great. Stay with the breath. What lesson needs to be integrated? What's coming up for you on this side versus the other side? How can you receive the wisdom of so many, but feel the connection to you? The relationship with yourself. And then as you exhale, you're going to free the foot. Roll over onto your back again, knees to your chest. You're going to inhale, your legs out and your arms out. And then exhale, draw the knees in, chin in, so wind relieving pose. Inhale, arms and legs stretch out. Exhale, drawing in. Inhale. And exhale. Yes, I'm taking my head down. I'm not keeping it lifted, so stretching all the way out. You gotta work the way that works for you. Maybe keep your feet up higher. Keep working that core, working the breath, taking care of the nervous system. Thigh bones stay plugged in, arms stay plugged in. Next time you come in, you're gonna draw all the way in, and we're gonna rock all the way out. Once you're up, find your feet, hands come back behind you. Okay, you're gonna draw the shoulders into the back body. Inhale, lift the hips up. Just stretch your left leg out. Draw in, heart opens, and then exhale, hips come down, foot comes in. Inhale, lift up. So it's similar to what we were doing standing. Exhale, the hips come down. Whoops. Inhale, the hips up. Right leg stretches out. Push the heel down, draw in, open up, and then exhale, hips come down, foot comes in. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, return. Now, stretch both legs out. Hands by your shoulders. Inhale, lift up. If it's available to you, go for that full inverted plank, right? We're upside down, upward facing plank. Deep breath in, and then exhale your hips to the ground. Find length through the spine and fold. So I'm not folding really far. Maybe the hands just come to the shins. Maybe even gecko arms. Exhale, bow. Notice we're not traditional offerings, but we're working with the breath. Inhale, come all the way up. Hands come back. Maybe come back to knees being bent. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, hips sweep back. Legs extend. Exhale, bow. Inhale, find length. Knees bend. You can do this with straight legs too. Inhale, hips lift. Connect with what's going on with the head. Right? Exhale, hips down. Legs stretch. Inhale, there's length. Exhale, bow. Inhale, find length. Knees bend. Rise up. What is this? Number 4. Exhale, hips down. Legs stretch out, so there's a lot of connection. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow. Each time I'm going further and further. Inhale, find lift. Knees bend. Inhale, the hips up. Exhale, hips come down. Legs stretch out. Waist is back. Exhale, bow into whatever forward bend is available for you. Inhale, find length. This time, bend the knees, hips lift up. Walk the feet wide. You're going to waddle your way into that squat. So you have to shift the weight, lift the hips up, readjust. Inhale into that squat. I know there's no way I can do this, but I'll try. You're going to find the length. Hands come out in front of you. Draw forward. Yeah, I can't. I'm not even going to pretend I can. Draw forward and find that length. I had to go to the old school one of just my knees on my arms. So it's important to know different things. Once your feet come back to the earth or you're still in a squat, come into a standing forward bend. Find that length, draw into the belly. Exhale, bow. Inhale, find length. We're going to step back, downward facing dog. Hands, feet, hips. Feel the alignment through it all. Deep breath in and deep breath out. You're going to roll over to the pinky toe side of your right foot, big toe side of your left foot. Push into your right hand, bend the knees, gain connection, and then stretch the left arm. And then bend the knees, hand to the ground. Feet lift up, remember touch and go. Find your center, then you're rolling over. We are not stacking feet, okay? So you're on the pinky toe side of your left foot, big toe side of your right foot. Knees are bending, drawing into the core, and then extend and find length. So touch and go. Hands come down, roll to the other side, draw into the belly, and then expand. Hands come down, push back, Stretching over, yep. Total of 5. Moving back, and then you can start to move with more grace because you connected to the complexity and that you've connected to yourself and that you can be true to you. Wow, maybe even fall. Sometimes our truth means it's messy. It's messy for everybody right now. I think this is number 5. Yes? I have no idea. And then exhale, both hands down. Move back, downward dog. Breathing fully into you. And then exhale, knees to the earth. Move back, sit on your heels. I gotta adjust my clothes, they're falling off. Once you find yourself sitting back, it is so hard to talk and move and breathe. So I need the pauses to just find my way. And as you talk and you breathe, what's the conversation you're having with yourself? So if you can't sit on your heels, obviously you can't sit on your heels, but go for the alignment of being seated that works for you. From this, we're going to draw up, find the length, arms stretch up high. Okay, and then we're going to exhale, toes top, heel, knees lift, push into the ground. Inhale, come all the way up. So now you're standing. Exhale, all the way down. Knees come down. Untuck the toes or keep them tucked. Inhale, right? So let's just flow. Toes top, hands come down. Oops. Finding the groove. And it may mean that it looks different every time because I'm not doing it the same each time. So sit back. Inhale, rise up. Your heart's open, the toes tuck. Working from that core. Heels come down. Inhale, rise. So it's a little Kriya-like. Cleansing. Sit back. Inhale, rise. And if you find you're doing something completely different, great. Notice I'm going for no hands now, okay? Feeling just that movement through the core and that ability to dance with that energy of the feet. You work this flow, which is what we've been working on the whole time, the way it works best for you. This is going to keep you young, but if you're feeling old, it may not be working, right? So feeling that, this is number 5, I believe. Heels ground back, come standing. All the way down. Now, here we are. Be aware of your feet. Move the feet out. Hips sit in between the heels if you can. Okay, my being says, oh, my mind is like, I can do this. I've done it so many times. But my knees are like, and my feet are about to spaz out. So I'm actually going to be here. My hips are a little lifted. And then as I go back, I'm going to sit back to my elbows. Drawing in, shoulders to the back, find length. There's a part of me, a playfulness of me, that would love to come down and push up into a wheel pose. I haven't opened the shoulders enough for any of us. So enjoy that message and then laugh at it. Big breath in, big breath out, or take it and go for it. You're going to push your hands into the ground, come up from the heart, rise up onto the hands and knees. Left leg is stretching back, hands ground down. Draw the right knee to the chest, and then you're going to lift up into a 3-legged dog. Lift up, open the hip up. You could go to wild thing. I am not a chance. Then step the right foot through to a lunge. Pivot the back heel to the ground. Inhale, side angle pose. Draw into the belly. Find the strength in the alignment that's right for you. And then we're going to move into triangle pose. Push the feet into the ground, shoulders to the back, finding a little normalcy right? Push into the earth. Inhale, come all the way up. Bend the knee. Reverse warrior two. And then inhale up through the center. Shift the weight. Forward. Inhale, half moon. Exhale, the foot comes down. Inhale into warrior two. Find that connection to your own strength. Feel the breath. Straighten the leg. Both feet turn in, hands clasp. Shoulders into the back body. Bow forward. Inhale, find length, right? So we're finding that rhythm again. Step it forward, okay? Step it all the way forward. Exhale, bow. Inhale, find the length. Exhale, fold over. Rise all the way up standing. Big full breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Shoulders to the back. Inhale the left knee up. Grab hold of the left foot. Open up into Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Full breath in. Full breath out. We've been allowing everything to come clear here. Foot comes in, then bend both knees and take off. Airplane pose, right? Warrior three. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Say a prayer that I can remember this whole flow. Exhale all the way back. Downward dog. Knees come to the earth. This time, child's pose. Just melt all the way back. Feel the breath clearing through the low back, the mid back, the neck, all the way into the feet, palms of your hands. Inhale, come up onto your hands. So what we want to do is stretch the right leg back. Left knee comes in. Yes, I'm pulling in, drawing in. And then move back, downward dog. As you move into your dog pose, lift up. You're going to open the hip up. And then exhale, step through to a lunge. Pivot the back heel. Remember our touch and go nature. So you're grounding in and coming into side angle pose. I have some extra fancy moves for you today. Feel the breath. Draw in. Oh, into that Trikonasana. Maybe you need to come all the way up to come back in. Full breath in. Full breath out. Now remember I shared this the other day? Not fair. I know the flow. I'm listening to my body. You may be just doing your own thing at this point. Lift up, reach back, reverse warrior two. Then inhale, come up through the center. I have to move my front foot back, which is such bad alignment. It's easier to move your back foot front. You're gonna shift the weight forward, inhale, half moon. Feeling the breath. So you might find this flow, this whole practice, highly inaccessible. So reflect on that. What's the narrative? How can you use your own wisdom? Foot comes back, warrior two. See, now I'm having to inch my foot forward. It's just so not right. I put my mat too close to the window. Virabhadrasana two. Through the sides of the body. So pelvic floor, diaphragm, roof of the mouth. Can you feel the alignment? Inhale, leg straightens. Both feet turn in. Hands clasp. Bow forward. Wide-legged forward bend. Inhale, find length. Pivot to the front. Step it forward and fold. Inhale, find length. Hands to heart. Come up standing. Arms overhead. Feel the structure of you, the alignment of you. And then come back to center. had a clear message of, you know what, you can probably do this without needing the wall, but I'm going to use the wall. So bend the knee, foot comes up, draw in, and stretch the leg out. There was a really wonky alignment when I was lying on my side. I'm not sure I can find without the extra feedback of the wall. So there's nothing wrong with that. Enjoying the breath, honoring yourself where you are. I actually just heel toe away from the wall, finding that center. So now I can find and honor. Foot releases, now we take off. Come back in, shift the weight forward. Airplane pose, warrior three, Virabhadrasana. 3. And then exhale, hands to the earth. Step it back. Downward dog. Freedom. So much freedom. Especially in a flow that's wonky. It's not familiar. It's not what you expected. I'm pushing you into those emotional waters. Knees to the earth. Move back, child's pose. Both feet on the ground. Inhale, rise up onto your hands and knees. Make sure you have room. I'm actually going to move backwards on my mat. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, open the heart. So just feel where you are in the flow. We're going to move through just a little bit of cardio, right, which is vinyasa. But we've got to place ourselves in a special way. So we're going to go from child's pose. Okay, I'm going to do it slow motion. You can watch. Inhale, up. Elbows bend down. Inhale, curl the heart up. Exhale, bow back down. Inhale, push up. Exhale, child's pose. Okay? So we're going to do 5 of those. Maybe come up with your own rhythm. But inhale, rise up. Exhale, down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, melt down. Inhale, push up. Exhale, push back. Okay? Using the breath. And child's pose. Melt into child's pose. Enjoy the breath. Get off the hands. Enjoy the beat of your heart. Inhale, rise up onto your hands and knees. We're going to do left side first. So if you want to do real pigeon, do real pigeon. I totally am in the mood to do mini pigeon. So left knee forward first. Lift up, draw into the belly. Fold. Exhale all the way out. Draw through the core. Inhale up. Your knees are going to lift. You're going to sweep over to the other side, find length, and bow. So if you were in pigeon pose, I don't really feel like doing it, but if you're in pigeon pose, this little flow we're going to do, you would just go from pigeon pose here, bowing down, same sort of thing. You just have a lot more ground to cover, okay? So come to the right leg if you're not. Bow into it. And maybe you get to change your mind. You get to choose. And choose in that way of like, what's going to work best for you? And the touch and go energy. Ground in. You've got to use your core. Rise up, lift up, fold over on the left side. Ground into the earth. Inhale up, switch sides. Ground into the right. Touch and go. Inhale, rise up. Lifting, bowing. Inhale, rise up. Lifting, over to the right. Once more each side. Inhale up. This is just such a prana-filled way of practicing. And last time to the right. Inhale, rise up. Both knees up. I'm going to sit back. My feet are going to go wide. Perhaps your legs go straight out, or maybe even Baddha Konasana. I have props. Hopefully you found a place to do yoga in your space, that you have things always available to you. This is just part of having the resources and the wisdom to say yes to taking care of yourself. So find length, rise up, and bow. 5 breaths in whatever forward bend you chose. Exhale out completely. Hands under the shoulders. Inhale, rise up. It's so delightful. I really want to do a whole bunch more with the bolster. I'm not. I'm going to stretch the bolster off to the side. Come through to the center. Come lying down. Okay, come lying all the way down. We'll do it. You can do bridge, you can do wheel pose, or you can do supported bridge. I'm going to do supported bridge. Feet come to the ground. I know we've already done bridge once, but it's going to be different this time. If you have support, great. If you don't, fine. If you feel like doing bridge pose, wheel pose, bridge pose, go for it. I just really want you to work the breath and not the physical body. All right, we really want to move into the respite of the breath. And as you're there, you're going to lift your knees up. If you're not with support, keep your feet on the floor. Okay, if you don't have support, you can bring your feet up off the ground. Okay, you can do it without a bolster or a blanket or a block. Stretch the legs up. So we're just in an inversion, a gentle inversion, right? Not the plow pose, to seated plow pose from the last class I shared. The tidal waves are still there, right? Which is why we're touch and go. The touch and go, though, by the way, is a term and a technique when flying a plane. We're all learning to fly here. And when you fly, you need to have a connection to your inner horizon. Bend the knees. Both feet come back to the ground, pausing here. It's like you're finally landing the plane, right? You're on the taxiway. If you're gonna inhale, lift your hips up. If you're on a block, take it out. If you're on a bolster, just roll it down to your knees. You might need a twist. You might even need to just come to Shavasana. So come to where you are. Breathe into where you are. Allow for yourself to be who you are. Breathe on the horizon, right? So just think of an imaginary line running out to your periphery. Or you can keep the big picture as you breathe for the innermost self. Allow yourself to breathe all the way in and all the way out. Touching into those places that you know need you to go a little deeper. And touching into the world around you from the depths of yourself before going anywhere. And breathe into the connection from your innermost self to the world around you and the version of yourself that you just tapped into that you're going to continue to carry with you. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Allow your head to roll from side to side. You probably don't feel like you're ready to fly right now. If you're like me, you feel like staying here for longer. So stay as long as you like, but otherwise, slowly walk your feet in. Roll over to one side. And then come into your own seat. And as you sit with the wellness of you, right? That you can go forward now because you've touched into the parts and pieces that are yours, that are reserved just for you. That the storm has passed. And there's a return. Because we were given the permission to step inward, to slow down, to remind ourselves of the wisdom we contain within, and that reflection of our own energy is one of our greatest gifts. We awaken to the resilience. So just when we thought we were crash landing, no pun intended, we can take off again. And that we can take off with a greater connection and a greater alignment to our own truth. Even if that truth is hanging out in the room by yourself, talking into a camera, in the hopes that there's somebody receiving and feeling supported. So I say hello to each of you and all of you, however this finds you. Straight from my heart. Namaste. And you all are great and amazing, and it is really humorous sometimes doing this. I just know it can't go on forever. So be you, please, above all things. And know that everything is touch and go right now. It's just, well, you can watch the energetic signature I'm going to post. And invite me into conversation if that supports you. I love to talk, if you didn't know. And, update. Me and my big mouth. A little admin moment. I can't teach at 9. It's when the few camps my kids are in this summer, they start at 9. So I'm in a little bit of a 9:30. That was an easy fix. 9:30 it is. I can do 9:30, and that works out really well. So starting next week, I'll make an announcement. Starting next week, yoga is 9:30 to 10:30, Tuesday, Thursday. Peace, friends. I adore you, whoever you are. I really do. Your energy's with me. Like I'm joking and I'm being silly right now, but I'm practicing on my mat, guiding you through the insights that are coming, but I can sense your presence. It's just, I don't know who it is. That's the funny part to me, right? So I can sense the energy of the fact that this is serving others. So I can hear the one voice saying that I'm a little nutty, and the other voice saying, man, just keep it up. Just keep on going. Who cares? So that's just my humor today. Bye.